The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, I'm Renee Wyckoff, Research Design Engineer at L&E Research. We're so glad you could join us today for the next webinar in a series of webinars hosted by L&E in 2019. Our webinar series focuses on information and tools that can be used to support qualitative research. Today's webinar will focus specifically on a deeper look at qualitative research technology with some of L&E's valued tech partners. We'll be sending out a recording of this webinar should you be interested in revisiting it or sharing it with your colleagues that couldn't attend. Before we get started, I'd like to mention that we'll be taking questions and answering them at the end of the discussion. Let's kick some things off and get started with meeting our partners. We have Chad Reynolds, founder and CEO of Battery. We have Dave Pataki, Executive Vice President of Focus Forward. We have Colin Baldessari, co-founder and CEO of Informed Decisions Group. Ali Putterman, Business Development Director at Living Lens. And last but not least, Jared Nguyen, Manager of Research and Technology Services at Elective. If we could start just by having everyone say hello and tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Hi, this is Chad Reynolds, founder of Battery, and my background is in design and innovation, and I feel like I grew up in consumer research. My mom worked for P&G for over 30 years doing products research, so my entire childhood was testing new shampoos and potato chips and all different kinds of things, and I suddenly became the guinea pig in our household trying all these things out. So I survived, which is a good thing, but I've been in and out of this industry for probably over 40 years and excited to join you guys today.
Thanks, Chad. We really appreciate it. Dave, let's have you next.
Thank you, Renee. I'm Dave Pataki. I am the Executive Vice President of Operations and Sales for Focus Forward. I've been here for over 6 years. Prior to that, I spent many of my years in the CPG industry and helping to come up with innovative ways to grow either a segment or a product line through innovation and what isn't necessarily always present or right top of mind. So it's been an interesting ride, and it's great to be here today.
Thanks, Dave. Colin, you're next.
Thank you. My name is Colin Baldessari. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Informed Decisions Group. My background is actually in consumer psychology and multivariate methods. Informed Decisions Group was started actually about 15 years ago, and the focus was to generate non-traditional research methodologies, focusing more on behavioral analysis.
Thanks, Colin. Hi, Ali. What about you?
Hi, everyone. This is Ali Putterman. I am a Business Development Director at Living Lens. I have been here for about a year at this point, but my career has pretty much always been in market research, so worked from the segmentation side of things to new product testing, and now more on the tech side of things, which I'm excited to share with you guys a little bit today.
Thanks, Ali. And last but not least, Jared.
Hi guys, I'm Jared Nguyen, and I'm currently the Manager of Research and Technology Services at Elective. So I've been here since about 2014, but my background has primarily been in marketing and both technology as a whole. I've always been incredibly interested in the ways that we've interacted with technology, and again that research perspective around things. So I've been enjoying the ride about watching the online qualitative and research space evolve over the couple of years. So glad to be here.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. So we're going to get started with something really easy, and we're just going to kind of follow the same order we've been following. So if you'll just each tell us a little bit about what your company does and which technology feature your clients get the most excited about when you tell them about it. Let's start with you, Chad. Hello, Chad?
Yes, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Great, okay. The mute button works, just FYI. Yeah. So Battery started out as a tech platform. And as I mentioned, my background was in design. And working in innovation and research projects, we had two really big needs. How do we get out and collect insights from consumers and really get at these really interesting, intimate moments in their life? And then secondly, how do we pull all that information together in a space so we can collaborate on it? And it's essentially what we do. So we built out this mobile platform where you can launch missions to consumers or to stakeholders in your projects, collect all this really great Qual work, and then have a space that's connected to it where you can use collaboration walls and all kinds of sticky notes and tools, empathy maps and things like that to organize it and ideate with your teams. And so, at a really pure granular level, that's what we do. People tend to be really excited about what missions can do. And when we build out different communities or different populations, they're really excited about the types of questions they can ask and then getting these intimate video moments that they can share out in presentations.
Excellent. Thanks, Chad.
Yeah.
Dave, tell us a little bit about Focus Forward.
Yeah, Focus Forward has been around since 2003, and really started in the transcription business right from then. And transcription could be looked at as, oh, well, that's a Word document, and it can be in formats from notes to edited, summarized, professional standard. We do a lot of Excel, taking those formats and putting it in Excel documents for certain clients. And then we had this new tool called Enhanced, where about a year and a half ago, we started playing with taking the actual transcript and trying to mirror it up with the audio or video, so it syncs. So when you can actually use the transcript more as a tool instead of, hey, I can read it and take the information off of it. We have a project management team here in Philadelphia at our office, which is 45 minutes outside the city. And we have transcribers across the U.S., 500 plus U.S. transcribers that do the transcription work for us 7 days a week.
Excellent. Thanks, Dave. Colin, what about IDG?
Sure. Excuse me. IDG focuses a lot on, excuse me, sorry, on shopper insights. I would say the technology that our clients probably get most excited about is what you see up on there, our life-size virtual aisle. This was basically, we've seen clients that can't get in the store to test changes in planograms or packaging, and we're getting frustrated with having to set up mock aisles or using printed versions of virtual aisles and really not having any ability to interact with them. So with the life-size virtual aisle, it's actually a extremely high resolution, a 4K resolution screen, and it can actually be touch interactive, where participants can shop it, take products off the shelf, look at them. They can even add them to their basket to get basket metrics and even get as detailed as conjoint analysis with this. And probably one of the biggest advantages with it is it's portable. So you're not locked into any certain market. It's portable to anywhere in the world.
Excellent. Thanks, Colin. In the example that we have here, are there several projectors behind screens at this point?
Yes, this is actually an example where we had three screens next to each other to create a full 30-foot aisle. Some clients will actually create even longer aisles. We've finished up one with a 70-foot aisle, but they did it just on fewer screens, so the participants actually navigate left and right up and down the aisle.
Okay, and just one more quick question. So from start to finish, on average, because I know that all projects are different sizes, on average, how long does it take a project like this to get set up for a client?
Obviously, it does depend on what's included in terms of, if we're doing eye tracking and things like that. But if a client is just using this for qualitative research, we're basically looking at about, I would say, getting all of the materials together. If we're going to actually create the virtual assets ourselves internally, probably somewhere around a week to a week and a half.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. And Allie, Living Lens.
Yeah, thanks. So at Living Lens, we're the friendly tech company. We enable better, richer insight and greater business impact by turning video and other multimedia into stories, data, and insight. So we work with brands, we work with research agencies, CX specialists, and other technology companies as well to capture that multimedia content, analyze it using AI machine learning, and tell stories that will really drive change within a business. So there are pieces really of the capture, the analysis, and the storytelling parts that get clients excited about working with us. So overall, really what people are most excited about is the amount of time that they'll save in working with multimedia content and the new types of data that they can get and work with and gather insights from. So we've actually found that clients save about 95% of their time putting the whole story together as they would through existing methods of working with video and this type of multimedia content.
Got it. Thank you. And Jared, Recollective.
Yeah, so Recollective is an online community platform fully optimized for desktop and mobile access. So within Recollective, you can essentially run projects, again, as small and as personal as a 3-day community with up to 10 participants, all the way up to something as long as an annual community with over 5,000 participants across the globe and in multiple languages. So it's very difficult for me to narrow down one particular feature as the most exciting since we have such a diverse set of tools available. But in essence, our platform allows you the flexibility and capability to use multiple research methodologies and takes it that extra step further in helping you optimize it. We do really provide like a lot of tools that you'll need from start to finish, everything including quick onboarding participant tools, abilities to screen them, presenting them with activities, and in that socialized or private environment to help you moderate and pull the data out for analysis. Usability and turnaround time, again, is a very good strong suit for us. At the drop of a hat, any researcher can quickly build their project within our environment. That includes, again, all of those methodologies, those tools that you'd expect in a community environment, and helps you eventually save time in your analysis perspective.
Got it. So a quick question, Jared. So you said that a researcher can go in and build their project. Is that something that you provide assistance with or can do for them if they just give you the instruction?
Absolutely. And it's one of the misconceptions about our product being very DIY heavy. I would argue that we definitely do have one of the stronger DIY pure platforms, but we do have a very strong suite of research services here that will help you program, launch your project, and give those added support mechanisms that you'd expect with a qualitative project of this nature.
And I just want to jump back to you for a minute, Ali. What about Living Lens? Do you provide the same, kind of DIY, or you can build it for them?
Yeah, for us, it's mostly DIY. So think of us really as the technology piece of things. So we make it easy to help you guys do whatever you need to do. Obviously, we have a customer success team that's always there to help and provide best practices. But we really, our goal is to be that technology to allow you to be more of a DIY platform and get involved in those insights yourself.
Got it. Thank you. So moving on. What is it about the services that your company provides that you feel lends something truly unique or different to the way your clients do qualitative? Chad, let's roll back to you.
Yeah, sure. So for us, we typically see the ability to storytell through an entire project, which typically may go on for months, is very different in battery versus how they might be doing it today. So typically you might do PowerPoint presentations as key check-ins or just at the end of a project to get someone to make a more consumer-driven decision. And typically through that process, you're doing lots of different kinds of research. You've got insights that are hunches still that you're trying to prove out, and you're probably workshopping with multiple teams across lots of different locations. And so doing that is pretty difficult if you're using lots of different types of platforms and tools. So for us, I think the through line of creating a consumer-driven story or an innovation story at the end and being able to quickly jump through the walls of your room to be able to show here's the actual videos we started with around the consumer need. Here's how we developed a journey map and found these pain points. Here's 10 ideas that we created based off of that. And then here's a mission we ran where we concept tested it with different consumers in a different market who have the same need. Being able to tell that story all in one place has been, I'd say, the most powerful thing that kind of separates us from what they might be doing today.
Got it. Thanks. Dave, what about Focus Forward?
So, yeah, in the past, a transcript was a tool where everybody had to read the document to get to the point of really what was going on in that focus group or the research. Now with the enhanced, which is really what I'm here to talk about today, is where we can mirror and sync up the video or audio to that transcript. A researcher or a client can go directly to the key points. There's an algorithm built in that allows for keyword search, or you can type in what those keywords are you're looking for, and it takes you right to the point of who's speaking when, and pulls it right to the audio as well as highlights the part in the transcript. So imagine having to read a 60, 70, 80, 90-page document, which a 1-hour interview or focus group could be, and now you, in a matter of minutes, can get to the keywords you were looking for from that research, be able to pull the clips, highlight the clips, whatever you want to do with the document, and move forward. So it's one of those things that has allowed a little more speed to market, like I think several have mentioned here, and allows the person utilizing the transcript to get right to the point. And imagine having a 20-interview research project, and you have to go through 20 transcripts and read them all. Now you can go right to the individual points based off those keywords and get to where you want to get to.
I think that saves a lot of time too. It's really valuable.
Yes.
Excellent. And Colin.
Sure. In terms of something truly unique about the virtual aisle and how it innovates the way our clients do qualitative research, I would have to say really a couple of things. One is it can be used obviously for aisles like you see there, but we've also had clients using it for menu boards, like for a fast food restaurant. So rather than them having to mock up menu boards or make changes within the restaurant, they can actually use the virtual aisle for it. And it allows them to test a lot more different variations. Also, we've seen clients that want to make changes based off of their qualitative interviews. So if they're going through and having participants shop different package designs or planograms, and they might not be getting the feedback they're looking for, so they want to make some changes, a lot of them will actually have their designers in the back room, and they'll actually be making changes to the digital images, and we can actually upload them right there and change the aisle as we're doing it. And so I think that flexibility with it helps a lot with qualitative research. And in addition, including eye tracking, the moderators can actually get a quick view as soon as the person's done shopping of what they noticed and what they didn't notice, so it helps them in their discussion and probing.
Got it, thanks. Allie, what about Living Lens?
Yeah, so with Living Lens, there's actually probably 3 points that I want to mention about how we can help you guys do qualitative in a unique way. So the first is we can definitely help deliver greater efficiency when working with video. So again, I keep bringing up these kind of 3 points of capture, analysis, and putting together that story. So from a capture side, it really saves time because respondents can actually provide feedback on their own schedule rather than having to always be present at a time that may or may not work. From the analysis side, everything in our platform, every time a video comes in, it's also automatically going to be transcribed, and we have the ability to search the spoken word, find exact moments of emotion, exact moments of products. So basically, you don't have to go through, watch all the videos, time code them, take notes as you typically would. So really speeds up that analysis process. And then, like I mentioned before, it also saves time in creating show reels and putting that whole story together because with the Living Lens platform, this can really be done in minutes. The second point that I want to mention is we also help researchers tell great stories using video and making sure that their insight is memorable and delivered with impact. So we found that viewers actually retain about 95% of a message when they watch it with video, rather than only 10% when reading it in text. So I know we've mentioned before, I think it was Chad that mentioned a lot of things are done with PowerPoint, but with Living Lens, it makes it really easy to actually deliver that message via video and have it stick. And then the last point that I want to mention as well that's pretty unique is that with our platform, any of the research that you're doing and the content you're capturing can live on and deliver value beyond a single project. So we've had clients tell us that they actually save costs because they don't necessarily have to go out, collect research through another diary study or another method, because once the content is in the Living Lens platform, it's all searchable. And so a researcher can go back in, see if that existing content's already there, and then save that time and money on initiating a new study.
Got it, thank you. And Jared, Recollective.
So Recollective features an activity-based engagement approach. So with participant, that gives you a lot of flexibility in, again, the way that you design your research. And it works with multiple methodologies, like I mentioned before. So whether it be concept testing, like a shop-along experience, or even in-the-moment chat session with our chat tools, everything you'd expect in terms of exercises, like image reviews, sort and ranks, multimedia submissions that your participants would engage with are available in our platform. I think the truly unique thing from our platform versus others is that we allow you to do Qual at scale. So one of the things we've been asking ourselves for the past couple of years is, has Qual been small by necessity? And the tools, the capabilities, the environment required to manage and engage participants never really existed in the same way that they do now, right? Especially in the traditional focus group setting. So within our platform, you can scale those communications, the engagement, the data analysis into environments that include hundreds, even thousands of participants if you need to. Yeah, and again, without any of the compromises that you expect for running projects at that size. For example, again, we have things like app mentioning for individual users to specific participant segments, tools to help you draw the entire community into content that you want them to see and interact with. Right? Setup and onboarding is incredibly easy, and all of the very traditional manual tasks, like for example, trying to spark that engagement and poking your participants to be more active, those are all automatically handled by things such as our automatic notification system and our reminders within our platform.
Got it, thank you. So on the back end, what is one thing that a client can find out from the data that comes out of using your service or platform that they may not be able to learn using another partner? Actually, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's start with you on this one, Jared, so you can just keep going.
Sounds good. So we put a ton of care and effort into designing our data and content format to allow for seamless analysis across all areas of our platform. So in the way that our platform captures responses in a number of different data formats, so let's say image review markups, or say video submissions direct from webcam or directly from their phone, it publishes them for you and allows you to interact with them immediately, while keeping it all under one roof so you can analyze it in that one place. So you can literally do your moderation and data analysis without even leaving the page, and at the same time exporting that content locally, either individually or as an aggregate whole for all of the participants, right? And both in human and machine readable formats. To add on further, research doesn't really stop. It's all very iterative. So as a community platform and online environment, in Recollective, it's incredibly easier for you to re-engage or try revised methods on that same group of individuals. So, they're already in that recollective space, that home environment. So whether it be that long-term ethnographic study that spans over a year, to again, that quick pop-up study that took place for a couple of days, you can easily fire that group up again and then present them with new exercises as well.
Excellent, thank you. Colin, what about IDG?
But with the virtual aisle, it alone does not actually produce data. It's the the types of display used to be able to generate discussions, and then collect data from other sources. So in terms of like the type of data that comes out of the virtual aisle, it itself doesn't have data, but it depends what is built into it. So for instance, one of the things that we do with it that others, I haven't seen any other company be able to do, is building models in the background of it. So for instance, rather than being a static image being shown, like I said, it can actually be touch interactive. We can actually collect that behavioral data as people are interacting with the virtual aisle. So moderators can actually know how many times something was picked up, whether they looked at the back of it, whether they put it back on the shelf versus putting it into their basket. So they can actually have that type of information with the life-size virtual assets.
Got it, thanks. And Allie, what about Living Lens?
Yeah, so I'm going to break this answer up into two parts. I think it depends on whether you guys are already working with video and research or not. So for people that aren't working with video, we really make working with video more accessible so people can use more of it and use it across a variety of use cases and methodologies. Video is a really rich medium. People actually say about 6 times more words and generate about 2 to 3 times more codes in a video than they would if you ask them to write their answers. Video provides additional layers of insight. For example, you can actually see someone's environment. You can watch them interact with products, and oftentimes that's going to reveal more than they might not have thought to share with you, or that you might not have known to ask. So those are really for people that aren't using video now, but for people that are already working with video, and video is an important part of research, our platform really looks across all of the information stored in that content to give a complete picture of what's going on. So we're unlocking what people are saying, how they're feeling, and what they're doing, all at great speed, just to make it more efficient.
Got it, thank you. And Chad, what about battery?
Yeah, so I think for us, when it comes to data and analysis, we can take very, let's say, loose business questions and try to refine them down into a set of different activities, probably similar to what Jared was talking about. So if we're trying to design a new shaving experience for millennials, for instance, we might recruit in different key cities around the world, have consumers get on the platform. And this might be pre-work for doing a focus group, or even just a compliment throughout their entire journey. But we're collecting videos of like their whole shaving experience, from going in store to how they're doing it at their home, any of the different needs that they have. They're able to share videos around all that content, and also do follow-on polls. So we could be running missions in 10 different cities at the same time, and we're seeing different themes pop throughout, and then able to quickly create a new mission and maybe go out to a separate segment, who have that pain point, to try to find, trying to dig a little deeper. So the types of content we're getting back are videos, photos, poll data, as well as giving the team the ability to create sketches or concepts that could solve that problem, and then send back out a mission a day later to get feedback on the concept. So from an analysis perspective, all the content's going through machine learning and generating transcripts and sentiment analysis and all the kind of standard set within that. I think for us, when it comes to data and how you can analyze it, I think we're always switching modes between analyzing, connecting the dots into new opportunities, and then quickly going into ideation, and just kind of cycling through those modes throughout the course of a project. So we give you the ability to do that in lots of different ways.
Thanks, Chad, that's really helpful. And then Dave, focus forward.
Yes, so again, I'm going to come back to with the enhanced transcripts that, the basis for us versus another partner in the transcription space is that ability to easily get taking the keywords, typing it in, or the phrase, getting to the site and the sound of it, whether it's audio or video, and most of the time it's audio, and being able to quickly and save time in writing your report, writing your presentation, or whatever you're doing to get the client the end result of the research. What we like to call it's from supporting the researcher from the idea to the action, and keeping things moving forward for them as quickly as possible with their research.
Got it. Thanks, Dave. So sort of piggybacking on that last question, what kind of tools do you offer or do you provide that makes it easier for your clients to piece together information or uncovering insights as far as analysis goes? Chad, let's start with you on that one.
Yeah, I'd say primarily of just doing image and video analysis, frame by frame, through that to find logos, keywords, objects, places, facial expressions, all those types of things, to quickly spot different themes and content. The transcription of videos into text in real time is another big thing that we're doing, and just providing more visibility into the types of content that you're collecting. And as you're researching throughout a project, you might also be clipping articles from the web or PDFs or things like that. And when you throw them into Battery on different walls, we still analyze that content just like you would from a consumer video. So being able to spot keywords and articles that you saved right next to the video are really powerful in helping you connect the dots in a quicker way.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Allie, Living Lens.
Sure, thanks. So we can really remove some of the manual burden that comes with working with video. So like I mentioned before, every video when it comes into the Living Lens platform is automatically going to be transcribed. And so with that, there's a variety of different analysis tools that we have. So the first is we can remove language barriers for interpreting any content from any language. We have human transcription and translation services that provide quick turnaround of content really on a global scale, no matter where in the world the videos are recorded. We leverage AI and machine learning to speed up the analysis process of the content. We have natural language processing that we use to drive the identification of the key themes, again, across all of this content. And that can really easily unearth areas to explore further within the research as well. And then the last part of that is we also have sentiment analysis using text analytics to determine how positive or negative the content is. And that's all kind of done within the text or the transcript part of it. But additionally, we also offer more advanced cognitive services to help get all of the content or all of the data within the content. So we have facial emotional recognition that helps identify emotional highs and lows within the content and can actually help take you to those exact moments in time. We also have tone analysis. Right now it's in beta, but what this is essentially adding an additional layer of insight to the content as well, so that we know not only what people are saying, but how they're saying it. And we know a lot of times that when someone is just typing out a response or we're getting text responses back, tone is something that's often misinterpreted. And then the last piece that I want to call out as well is we also have object recognition. So our object recognition is time-stamped to the video. So whoever is doing the research and analyzing it can jump straight to the point in the video where you can see what someone is doing and what products they're looking at in the store. Maybe you can see what products and tools they're using while cooking, or what types of items they keep in their pantry, anything really like that. So again, it's just kind of bringing exact moments to life rather than having to go through and watch all of that video to make that analysis quicker.
Got it, Allie. Thank you. Dave, let's go over to you now.
Okay. Again, we are just one portion of some of that, and Allie, it's pretty impressive, and Chad, both of your products and services. But from a transcription standpoint, on our end, we are taking a human transcript and marrying up with the audio or video at any given point in time, and allowing people to just quickly get to where they need to get to. We don't know how many times when I've sold somebody a regular transcript where they'll say to me, oh, I have to go back to the audio to hear what the person actually said, because I want to hear exactly what they said, not just read it and hear their voice inflection. And by having this allows you to take it right there without having to open up another window on another screen to go listen to that. So again, it's something new that many of our clients don't even know we have or haven't utilized yet, but again, it allows them to quickly get to the end result of their research.
Thanks, Dave. Jared, how about Recollective?
Yeah, so we provide everything from word clouds to photos and video walls to dynamic charts for any of the quantitative exercises in our dashboard stream format. But we marry all of this together with a strong suit of, again, the segmentation filtering and our abilities to communicate and engage with those participants. What makes it unique is that, like I said, these are very integrated across the platform. So, for example, Recollective also includes multilingual automatic video transcription that feeds directly into our text analytics and data discovery tools. So when you combine that with the other open-ended text exercises that the participants may have done within the other activities and so forth, any researcher can really leverage our data discovery methods and find those kind of key insights in those videos, those text pieces, and so forth. So in the case of videos, that means that as you're reviewing these videos, again, we marry the text portions and the audio portions on a timecode format. So again, you get a kind of a read-along highlight as you watch these videos. You can quickly highlight key components of this video that, again, can be found either through search or as you're viewing these responses. You can save that as a clip, as a text excerpt, and again, append additional codes onto this for additional filtering, right? And all of this, of course, is done in real time. So as soon as a participant completes any activity or exercise on our platform, their responses are automatically published, ready to go inside that stream for you to do this analysis, right? And of course, you guys can engage them and probe them further with the actual platform.
Got it. Thank you, Jared. And Colin, last but not least.
Sure. I would say the biggest piece is the eye tracking that we provide in conjunction with the virtual aisle. Simply because the moderators can talk about the different packages that are being tested or different planograms, talk to the participants about that in terms of what they like, don't like. But there are certain measurements when it comes to testing shelves that are harder for respondents to convey, such as, what did you notice? Did they notice certain things about it? We've actually correlated data from eye tracking data to recall data and found that it was a very low correlation. It was actually 0.09 between what people said they noticed versus what they actually noticed. So adding in the eye tracking tools, I think, helps piece together a lot of information in terms of the attitudinal part of testing aisles and packaging, incorporated with the actual behavioral part in terms of actual visual response.
Got it. Thanks. So this next question is not necessarily geared towards your business specifically. It's just kind of a question from your own perspective. So I'd like to hear from all of you, what impact do you see AI and machine learning having on Qual research? Colin, why don't we start with you on that one?
Sure. Just from my perspective, I think it would advance analysis time. So there's already been some advancements in terms of like visual recognition, not quite to the point of AI, but things that have actually taken coding of eye tracking data and turned it into a much, much faster process. It's something that used to have to be done on a frame by frame basis. And now it's something that actually uses visual recognition, and you can actually get results quite quickly using that type of learning, like I said, not necessarily AI, but more visual recognition.
Thanks. What do you think about that, Dave?
From our perspective, and we constantly are testing testing different tools and different aspects on this. But let's just go to our smartphone. How many times do you get a voicemail and John called and it said Sean, or it says, hey, and what about the water? And it said Uber instead of water. So there's still some, there's still a lot of, no pun intended, learning here to happen. I think on a single speaker basis, yeah, it works decently. But when you start getting into focus groups or a triad or multiple speakers, there can be many ramifications from an audio transcription basis in terms of the accent of the person or individuals involved. The audio quality can be background noise, can all have aspects and issues with it as it's trying to transcribe it. 10 years from now, maybe it'll be the way to go, but we haven't found anything that replaces the actual human transcript that gives you a 99% to 100% quality product.
Understood. Chad, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're at a little bit of an infancy stage on AI and machine learning as it comes to more qual type of research. And analysis is, I think, the first wave of how we were able to analyze lots of information and spot patterns and trends and things like that. It's going to have a huge impact on, I'd say, the joy we bring to the work that we're doing. I think it has tremendous upside and potential to just bring the human spotting of different types of information, from saving us time to helping us synthesize and spot things we didn't see. And I'm just encouraged of how it might help us ask different questions based off of things we've seen. So there's a lot of different types of algorithms we're building now from scratch that are looking at different synthesis models or different ways that we as researchers are seeing things that lead up to the research that we're doing, and these hunches and how they might influence the different types of questions that we ask, or even prompt new questions that we may be thinking in our head, but we haven't written it out. Kind of similar to how Gmail is starting to write emails for me. I think it's just going to be able to get us started in some cases and help us connect the dots a little bit better. But at the end of the day, I think it's just going to help add a much more human element to the work that we're doing, and give us some time back to spend out more with people, and start to recognize some of those other connections. So it has a lot of emotional benefits that we may not necessarily be seeing just yet, but they're definitely coming.
Thanks, Chad. Allie, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so for us at Living Lens, AI and machine learning are already driving a lot of the capabilities in our platform that helps, again, with the same theme that everyone's talking of, speeding up the extraction of data within video, within audio, within images. So a lot of, in our platform with this technology, we're providing text analytics, the cognitive services with facial and emotional recognition, the identification of objects. So again, for text analytics, that whole idea of natural language processing helps to identify immediately what key themes are within that video or within a data set, and help find new insights that might not have been uncovered without that. From a facial emotional standpoint, we can use that in combination with the keyword search or with the key themes and really bring the whole experience to life and almost mimic that human interaction by combining what people are saying with how they're saying and how they're feeling and how they're expressing themselves. And I know I've mentioned it a few other times, but one other example that we have for how this technology is really impacting qualitative research is if someone's doing an ethnographic diary study and using our object recognition, we can actually pinpoint the exact moment that someone's at a fixture in a store. Again, it really eliminates that whole need to watch through all the content or manually tag points. We'll take you to that exact moment in time. So again, a lot of our capabilities come from that right now. We know that it'll continue to evolve, but it's really the way that we're helping brands like all of you on the phone, figure out how to actually work with qualitative research in a new way today.
Thanks, Allie. And Jared, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, and I think the core theme here that everybody's kind of expressed is that, leveraging AI is all about bringing efficiencies to things. I mean, I guess the core argument or core goal being to augment the human element of qualitative research. In that way, again, just piggybacking off of everything, we're always looking to find those efficiencies, whether it just be time saved, again, giving us more aspect into sentiment analysis. If I use, again, natural language processing alone, everything from entity detection to, again, topic extraction and so forth, these are elements that, again, can only be improved with AI, and the human kind of manual element is kind of taking a back seat as these bits of AI start to evolve over time, right? So I think it is an exciting time, and I think with everybody's platform, regardless of what it is, right? I can tell you, Recollective, everything that we build new into our platform is going to continue to leverage, the advancements in AI as well too. So, yeah, like I said, very interesting time for sure.
Thanks, Jared. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We really appreciate it, and for giving us the opportunity to get to know you all a little better today. We're going to move on now and take some questions for the next few minutes. But first, we'd like to thank Focus Forward, our transcription partner, who so graciously volunteered to transcribe this webinar for free. As you certainly know now, Focus Forward is just one of our technology partners that we've partnered with to bring a complete qualitative toolkit to our clients. Again, we'll be emailing out the recording of this webinar, and you can view this webinar or download a copy of this free transcript at our website, as well as learn about our exciting technologies offered through L&E Solutions at www.leresearch.com. Let's get started with a few questions. All right, bear with me one moment. We have a lot of questions here, and that's good. Okay. So the first one, and this is kind of geared towards Living Lens and Recollective. It says, what type of cloud services does Living Lens and Recollective use, and how do they protect privacy? Allie, do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, so I think there's multiple parts to that question. So in terms of cloud services, for us, our platform is built on one platform, and we can have unlimited amount of content on the platform as well. So we're not totally leveraging too much of that actual cloud and keeping things on the cloud. We have an actual platform that everything is built on, and making sure that the content is regularly available whenever you need it. And in terms of privacy, it's a lot about how you set up the research. So making sure that respondents are opting into being able to record a video and make sure they're aware of the video being recorded. And the other part of that as well is at Living Lens, we're only going to receive the data that the brand or the agency actually decides to pass along to us. So a lot of times we will just have a unique respondent ID that people will send us, and then on the back end, they can connect that video to everything else. We can also add in filters that are tied to that respondent ID. But again, that just kind of helps eliminate the whole issuer's concern of privacy and making sure that respondents know up front exactly what the videos will be used for, how it's going to be captured, and who's going to be seeing it and how it'll be presented out.
Got it, Allie. And Jared, what about Recollective?
Yes, so Recollective is fully GDPR privacy compliant. So for those of you unaware of the GDPR rules out there in Europe, it was an overhaul to the existing legal framework as to how we handle people's data. So we built that into our video capture methodologies here as well too. So again, everything is handled in a very high security manner here. But to add further to that, again, with the way that you guys are designing your research methodology within the platform, you could have something very social where people see each other's responses to something very private where it's kind of your own space for each individual participant. To take it even further, as you know, again, this video content is captured and perhaps no longer needed in the future length there, you can actually scrub the visual components of this video automatically within our platform. platform to stay, again, PII sensitive and in compliance, right? But also retain the audio portions and even the text transcripts that are associated with that, right? Leveraging more AI and so forth, we want to take this even further and potentially down the line, focus this in on just like blurring out people's faces and so forth. But as of right now, like I said, we're fully capable of maintaining the anonymity on the video portion there and retaining all of that research-heavy data that you have on the back end.
Excellent. Thanks, Jared. Colin, this one is for you. Does IBG provide their own eye tracking service, or do you go through a third party?
We actually provide it ourselves.
Okay, excellent. Jared, we're coming back to you on this one. How do you feel Recollective is different than other online bulletin boards?
Yeah, I keep going back to the idea of flexibility and essentially scale. We've taken like a lot of care, again, with the idea of allowing you to run those little small pop-up communities and interact with those individual participants, but then again, scaling up to those larger sizes. I've literally watched hundreds, thousands of communities here engage within our actual platform here, and I've seen the large ones, right? And again, everything from filtering to mentioning and so forth, to target individual users, to target individual segmentation groups, right? These are all very easy techniques to do within our platform. But furthermore, again, because of the structure of our activity-based exercises, you can continue to push the envelope of making sure that people are finishing these exercises like image reviews and so forth. But then on the kind of social front, the traditional bulletin board, again, leverage all of those social components there and get the strong data analysis and moderation components that we boast on our end.
Thank you, Jared. Ali, this next one is for you. Can you share more about the increased depth that video responses allow for? Where can this person learn more about how Living Lens prompts longer responses through video?
Yeah, so we have a couple of different ways that we can help capture video. And obviously that's going to generate different insights. So it's really some research that we've done to figure out how much more people are providing. So if you think of a typical question, someone might say, please rank this product that you just tried, and you're going to give it a score. And the next question is going to say, great, please tell us why you give it a ranking. A lot of times, as you guys have probably seen, someone will answer with about 4 to 6 words. They might say, it tasted good, or it was natural. And we've actually found with video, and as you can kind of just figure out in human interaction, people say about 4 to 6 times more words than that. So again, they're going to give you a whole paragraph. They're going to say, it tasted good, it wasn't too salty, I liked the flavor, I thought it went well, everything like that. So from a research side, it's really just thinking about, the way people are going to actually say more in a response, because they can just kind of keep talking. But think about, at the same time, think about all of your social media today. Think about your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Instagram, Snapchat, everything like that is now becoming video. And people are more willing to share what's going on in their lives and talk about their thoughts and their opinions. And having this new way that is really part of their everyday life to also share their thoughts and their feedback just shows that people are more willing to share, and you can get a lot more out of them than just going through and taking maybe a survey or trying a product and just providing feedback as quickly as possible. I'm happy to talk more about that. We obviously have our website, livinglens.tv, and then also feel free to connect with me and we can talk more about the different ways that we can help you get more content out of people through video.
Thank you, Ali. So of our panelists today, there's a listener who wants to know if any of you do your own recruiting for your platforms.
This is Chad here at Battery. Yes, we do. We've got kind of a unique approach where we place cool hunters in different cities around the world who are trying to find consumers who seek out different types of experiences. So we'll recruit through that or use existing recruiting companies to help augment or complement some of that.
Thanks, Chad.
But
Anyone else?
Yep.
This is Living Lens. This is Allie. We don't actually have our own panel or respondents. We actually allow people to work with whoever you're typically working with. We do have panel providers that we can work with as well, that maybe their respondents already have our capturing app downloaded on their phone to make it a more seamless experience. But we like to keep that open to however people like to talk with their customers.
This is Jared at Recollective. So just piggybacking on Allie's point there, we don't have our own in-house recruitment services, but our platform is designed to be seamlessly integrated with the typical partners like Dynata, Schlesinger, Lucid, and so forth. In the sense that again, we can always take typical exports from these particular partners, but also we can directly integrate directly from their panel systems and pipe them over into Recollective seamlessly in one go. So.
Excellent. Allie, I'm going to come back to you on this next one because you described it when you were talking about Living Lens earlier.
Sure.
How do you manage the language barriers with international research?
Yeah, so far we've worked with about 45 languages to date. With our platform, we have the option of either doing machine speech recognition for transcription or human transcription. And then whenever a video comes in, if it does come in a language other than English, it's also automatically sent off for processing within that foreign language as well. So within the platform, we provide the native transcription and we also provide the English translation. And then all the functionality that I mentioned previously. So being able to search, being able to create clips, show reels, adding captions can be done in any type of language. So a lot of times what we do or what we suggest is if you are capturing content from consumers around the world speaking multiple languages, we would suggest adding, English subtitles onto the bottom of a show reel, and whoever's watching it can actually still follow along by collecting results through every type of customer.
Thanks, Allie. We have someone asking, can someone share more detail about how you use machine learning to make your approach work more quickly? They want to understand what data inputs are going in and what is coming out. Would someone like to volunteer to answer that question? Anyone? Allie, you want to approach that one?
Sure. Yeah, so for us, like I said before, pretty much everything in our platform is using machine learning. So what's coming into that at that point is the transcript and the words that people are saying. So again, the video comes in, it's transcribed, and then our transcription is using machine learning to, if it's using machine speech recognition, it's improving the quality of the transcript that's coming back. Again, we are using natural language processing. That's all part of machine learning. So there's a variety of outputs that come with that, text analytics as well. And then using more of that machine learning right now, I think I mentioned earlier as well, we have tone analysis that's in beta. So the more people we get giving videos, the more data essentially that we have to contribute to understanding the tone in someone's voice. And same thing goes with facial analysis. So really everything that we're talking about, it's all of the data that's coming in, whether it's their voice, whether it's their facial emotions, whether it's the words that they're saying, all is just providing more and more data to, again, bring that human element more to life and make it more accurate for you guys to be able to work with in a time-efficient manner.
Thank you, Allie. I think we have time for one last question. And then I'll also say that any questions that we do not get to live, we will make sure that we respond after the webinar is over with an answer to your question. This last one is going to be for IDG. How do you get the product pictures, particularly the sides and the back, et cetera?
That's a great question, actually.
Yeah.
Basically, what the process, basically what the process works is we'll get the planogram from the client. Sometimes they'll send like low resolution pictures of what the aisle should look like. The majority of the times, what we need is actually like Excel sheets giving us the UPC codes. And then what we do is we go out and buy the products, and there's a high resolution photography session we do where we take pictures of the front, back, sides, tops, bottoms of each product, and then put those together into the virtual aisle. If it's just a 2D aisle, a static 2D, we just take a picture of the front. If it's the interaction where we're going to show 2.5D or full 3D, that's when we have to do the photography sessions for all sides of it.
Thank you so much. We're going to wrap this up. As mentioned previously, we'll be emailing out the recording of this webinar, and you can view this webinar as well as learn about our exciting technologies offered through L&E Solutions at www.leresearch.com. Thank you so much for joining us today, and be on the lookout for an email invite to the next webinar we're hosting in this series. Have a great day, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.